Welcome back. The public was recently surprised by the widespread circulation of President Joko Widodo's vaccination certificate on social media. The circulation of the president's vaccine certificate is associated with the leak of data in the government's Peduli Lindungi application.
The public was surprised by the widespread circulations of President Joko Widodo's vaccination certificate on social media. The circulations of the President vaccine certificate is associated with the leak of data in the Peduli Lindungi applications. The vaccination certificate contains the name of President Jokowi along with the population's identification number. In addition, there is also the President's date of birth and barcode. In addition, there is also the President's date of birth and a QR code. It was stated that the President had received a second vaccination on January 27, 2021 using the COVID-19 vaccine made by Sinovac. Due to the leak of President Jokowi's vaccination certificate, the Minister of Communications and Information, Johnny Plate, spoke up. According to the Minister of Communications and Information, user data in the government-made applications Peduli Lindungi is currently safe. Regarding Jokowi's leaked COVID-19 vaccination certificate, the ministry asked the public to ask the Ministry of Health. Meantime, the leak of President Jokowi's vaccination certificate has made the public question the government's ability to secure personal data. IDX Channel reports.
Regarding the leak of President Joko Widodo's COVID-19 vaccination certificate, the government immediately spoke up. Minister of Health Budi Gunadi Sadikin said that the government had taken steps by closing the data on a number of officials in the Peduli Lindungi application. At the same time, he emphasized that the government is currently making improvements to the application, which is suspected to be the source of the data leak.
Sampaikan bahwa tadi malam kami terinfo mengenai masalah ini, ya. Sekarang sudah dirapikan sehingga data para pejabat itu ditutup. Aplikasi Peduli Lindungi kan digunakan untuk mengecek apakah kita sudah divaksin atau sudah dites lab. Yang bisa mengakses adalah semua aplikasi-aplikasi yang ada di setiap aktivitas, misalnya check-in di airport, mau check-in ke mall, atau mau masuk ke industri, mau masuk ke kantor. Tetap data entry kan di Indonesia sering sekali terjadi kesalahan. Niatnya ke sana. Nah memang tidak nyamannya itu banyak, bukan hanya Bapak Presiden saja, ya, tapi banyak pejabat-pejabat juga yang NIK-nya itu sudah jadi tersebar informasinya keluar. Ya. Kita menyadari itu. Nah sekarang kita akan tutup untuk beberapa pejabat yang sensitif, yang memang beberapa data pribadinya sudah terbuka.
Indonesians expressed concerns over the security of their personal data after the president's vaccine certificate was leaked. Responding to this, the executive director of SafeNet, Damar Juniarto, reminded the government to immediately ratify the establishment of the personal data protection law so that incidents of data leakage can be avoided.
A leak online of the President's COVID-19 vaccine certificate has heightened concern in Indonesia about information security, coming in the same week as a data breach affecting 1.3 million users of a government's contract tracing application. Jakarta-based Ageng Wibowo said the leak made him nervous and called for the tougher cybersecurity laws. People also expressed their anger online, with one user tweeting, "How many more big cases do we need to show that the IT and data management in our country is a failure?" The government was even asked to postpone the use of the Peduli Lindungi applications as a requirement in community activities. This is due to a data leak in the Peduli Lindungi application. SafeNet Executive Director Damar Juniarto explained that the case showed that from the beginning there was no data leakage prevention carried out by the government in the Peduli Lindungi applications. However, demands for increased personal data security are not only addressed to Peduli Lindungi. Damar again reminded the governments to immediately ratify the establishment of the personal data protection law so that incidents of leakage of sensitive data can be avoided. Meanwhile, spokesperson for COVID-19 vaccination from the Ministry of Health, Siti Nadia Tarmizi, reminded the public to not worry about using the Peduli Lindungi applications because the personal data of all Indonesians is guaranteed to be safe. She mentioned that the Peduli Lindungi applications has passed a very strict IT security assessments process by the National Cyber and Crypto Agency. IDX Channel reports.
Several cases of data breach have been recorded in Indonesia. Unmitigated, the amount of data that was leaked even reached tens of millions of user data. And here are examples of data breach cases, both allegedly and confirmed, that happened in Indonesia for the past year and a half.
Several cases of data breach have been recorded in Indonesia. Recently, Indonesians were stunned by yet another news of a major data breach reported by VPN Mentor researchers that exposed personal data of 1.3 million people, registered in the country's electronic health alert card or IHAC system, a government tracing app used to tackle COVID-19. This potentially presents risks for the user data exploitation as it leaked names, home addresses, ID numbers, COVID-19 hospital tests, and more. However, the ministry's head of Data and Information Center, Anas Ma'ruf, claimed that public information stored in the IHAC system is safe. In May 2021, the personal data of millions BPJS Kesehatan users was sold in an online forum known as Raid Forums for the price of 0.15 bitcoins by a user called Kos. Not long after the news broke out, BPJS Kesehatan Director Ali Gufron Mukti acknowledged that a number of users' data from his institution had been sold on the internet. In May 2020, millions of personal data was non-consensually stolen from the popular e-commerce Tokopedia. Some even claimed the exposed 91 million personal data was sold for $5,000. At the time, Tokopedia representative asserted that the incident was not an attempt to steal personal data because the data is still securely protected behind encryption. An internet user claimed to have information of the breach of 2.3 million Indonesians from the General Elections Commission website back in May 2020. This user believed the data breach took place since 2013 and claimed that the hackers threatened to leak 200 million more. At the time, the General Election Commission Commissioner Firwan Aziz said that the final voter list data that was leaked on social media was not the result of hacking the General Election Commission website. He suspected that the leaked personal data came from a third party. IDX Channel reports.